You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
All right. So we're going to start lying down on our backs, and all the only prop that we need today is our bolster or a thick pillow, a thick cushion. And we're going to come to our first posture, which is our reclined butterfly. So you can support the head, you can lie on a blanket if you like, and you use the bolster to support the knees. So you're in your reclined butterfly, and the bolster goes underneath the knees, letting the knees just rest out to the sides, making sure that the knees are nice and supported, and the soles of the feet can come together, and just rest through the hips and the pelvis there. Soften, soften, soften into the belly, almost spreading the bowl of the pelvis out underneath you. And just take the hands down onto the lower abdomen here. So you can place one on the diaphragm just beneath the rib cage, and the other one almost close to the lower navel, so beneath the belly button and above the pubic bone. So resting the hands there, letting the elbows soften down to the sides of the body. Oh, and as you come to lie down, just let go of your day. Take nice deep breaths in and out. And you can breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, just to sigh out, letting go of tension and tightness. And this practice is particularly one to let go, not to hold on, even though we hold our postures for a number of minutes. Try and release and enjoy the holds and the stillness. And then you can close the mouth if you haven't already, and start to breathe in and out just through the nostrils. And as you lie here, just take a moment to scan the body from head to toe, just checking in all the way down to the feet, noticing if you're gripping, clenching, any muscles, any joints. Really allow the joints to soften and relax and become heavy. And trying not to engage or to contract any of the larger muscle groups. Feel the belly rising and falling beneath the hands. So the breath in, belly, diaphragm, and the chest all rise fully. And then the exhale, chest, diaphragm, and the belly just releases back down. Noticing the warmth and the sense of touch with your hands on your body. Feel the heaviness of the palms of the hands. And during a full moon, particularly a supermoon, which means that it's a lot closer to the earth, so it appears a lot bigger in the sky, and it being a blue moon, which often means that there are two in a month, or two in a lunar period, meaning the rareness, the blue moon, so once in a blue moon. This is a time to slow down, really, really slow down. It's not a time to set new intentions. It's not a time to embark on new adventures or projects. That's the time of a new moon. This is a time to rest and to recharge, which is why I've got my crystals ready to recharge underneath the moon. And during a full moon practice for yin, we start to focus on the lower body, into the hips, the sacrum, and into the lower back. So start to feel those areas of the body now. Relaxing into the hips, hip sockets, the pelvis, the lower back. And the only intention that we need today for our practice is to let go, to release any tightness, any tension, anything that we're holding on to. Let it go. And enjoy these moments of rest in each posture. Nice and slowly take the hands away from the body. Bring some movement back into the fingertips, into the knuckles, into the thumbs, the palms, and into the wrists. Give them a little shake. Then take the hands to the thighs, lift the knees together, and just place the soles of the feet on the widest edges of your bolster, dropping the knees together and just soften again once more into the lower back. So the feet are on top of your bolster and the knees are just resting towards one another. Notice how that response feels as you come out of that reclined butterfly into the inner groin, into the hip sockets. And then just gently heel toe the feet into parallel and then gently draw the knees in towards the chest. Again, this doesn't have to be tight. You can just pull them in nice and softly, rolling out through the spine. And you might like to circle the knees one way and the other. You might like to open the knees up nice and softly to circle into the hip joints. We're going to push the bolster away just a little bit so that we can roll over onto our side. And before coming up, just take a moment to lie on your side. Knees are on top of one another, feet are on top of one another, and you're just resting the palm in front of the face. Take a few breaths there. Soften into this nice relaxing posture of embryo and then gently use the palm to press yourself up. We're going to come to seated butterfly for pranayama, which is our alternate nostril breathing. So gathering your bolster behind you, sitting up onto your bolster and then coming into your butterfly pose there. So soles of the feet come together. You can relax the knees out to the side and just rest the hands there for a moment as you just sit nice and tall. So Nadi Shodhana is our alternate nostril breathing, which is alternate nostrils left and right, breathing in through the left, breathing out through the right, breathing in through the right and out through the left. So we want to feel this nice stream of breath going up to the bridge of the nose, up towards the third eye and back down again. So we'll start by bringing the fingers either towards the third eye, or you might like to fold them into the base of the thumb. Take a breath in through both nostrils and a breath out through both. Close the right off with your thumb Inhale through the left. So we're using our right hand to do this. Then we close the left off, open the right, and then exhale out of the right nostril. Good. Breathe in through the right. Moment of pause as you swap thumb and release the index finger. Release the ring finger and then exhale on the left. So breathing in left. Hold the breath, a moment of pause as you swap the fingers, opening up the thumb, exhaling out. Moment of nothingness, breathe in right. Close right off, open left, exhale. So there's a suspense, there's a momentary of suspense of emptiness and fullness. Breathe in left. Swapping, opening, exhaling right. Breathe in right. Close off right, open left, exhale. So if that pace is okay for you, continue, or you might like to change it. Slower, longer, faster, quicker. So just flowing with that movement, inhale and exhale. Really only focusing on the breath as it comes in and as it leaves the body. Nothing else to think about. Balancing out the left and the right channels, the right sides and the left sides of the body, and the right and left sides of the brain. Keep going if you can with the alternate nostril breath. If you need to stop and just breathe normally, please do. But if you can continue, just a few more rounds. Taking your last round, a full, complete round, exhaling on the left. And then releasing that hand down. Once you've completed that round, breathing normally through both, noticing if one feels particularly stronger or weaker than the other. And exhaling deeply, fully. Nice. Take the hands to the knees, lift them together. And let's keep our bolster where it is, and we'll just come to the back of our mats. Again, these are nice, relaxing, letting go postures. So we're going to come to a wide leg child's pose. If you need to, just pad out the ankles, or you can place a blanket underneath the back of the thighs, or 2 blocks underneath your bolster. We're going to come and lie down in wide leg child's pose, and you can rest the hands either in front or by the side of the bolster and turning onto the cheek. So quite often when we come to yin pose that we hold for a number of minutes, it's easy for the mind to become distracted. And that is the hardest thing, is to keep present, keep focusing on really holding the pose, finding stillness and working towards your edge in the asana. But using that breath to anchor you into the place of presence and come into this meditative sort of state of mind where you're not really thinking about anything else other than being here, letting release come into the joints and the muscles, going deeper into the connective tissue. Allowing a deep sense of release, letting go again of gripping or clenching anywhere. Notice if you're clenching into the buttocks or into the pelvic floor. You can relax the pelvic floor. Giving into gravity, bearing all of the weight down into your props. And just lifting the head, gently turning it to the other side so that you do get that balance of neck stretch. Taking a breath in, bringing the head back into center. Just rest the forehead in the center for a moment. You might need to just make sure that you lengthen the neck a bit so the nose doesn't get crushed. And then prepare yourself to come out of the posture by bringing the hands back by the bolster. Press into the palms and gently and slowly roll up through the spine. Chin stays in towards the chest. Come back into an upright kneeling posture, dropping the hips nice and deeply down towards the feet. Good. And let's just take that bolster to one side, release forward into your tabletop position. Bring the knees back into center. And here you can just gently circle out the hips forwards and backwards. Releasing into the toes and the ankles there. If you like to just tuck the toes and then release. Give the ankles a little bit of a rotation, one at a time or both together. And then through the spine, gentle cat and cows. So again, breathing in for your cow, exhale for cat. So reminding ourselves of the area of focus, which is our sacrum, our lower back, our hips, and our pelvis. Focus on this area here. And then let's come into our deer pose. So this is where we can bring our bolster out to the front of us, kind of in a diagonal. We're going to bring our right leg in front, and our left leg is bent back behind us. Good. So we're sitting on our buttocks there. That's it. Perfect. Yeah. And we're going to use that bolster as, again, a prop to lean over onto. Now, if you need to, you can bring the bolster up a little bit closer over the knee, and that's okay too. It depends. You might not even need the bolster, and you can push the bolster aside and go all the way to the floor. But start off, in a nice, comfortable place into that deer pose, and again, softening out into any areas of tightness and tension you might be feeling. I already am feeling it in my right buttock, right piriformis. So maybe you feel it somewhere already as soon as you started to go in. Again, the prop helps us to fill space between us and the earth. Make sure the belly is nice and free of the thigh. So you've got a twist and a release into that right outer hip. So just a little reminder to remain present. If you notice that the mind has wandered off, slowly bring it back. Focus on your breath being your anchor and any sensations and feelings that you are experiencing as you're here in this posture. Again, relaxing through the gluteal muscles, the buttocks, and the pelvic floor. Give into gravity, let go deeper. A full release, letting go. To come out of the posture, take that breath in, breath out. Lift the head, bring the hands back by the side of the bolster, gently press yourself up and just come back into that upright position, dropping the back buttock. We're just going to take a nice little counter twist to the back foot. So turning the chest towards the back, bent knee and thigh. Open out the chest. Don't force that one. Again, no effort needed in this practice. Nice and slowly bring yourself back. And you just release that back leg. That's it. Lovely. So changing sides. One leg bends back behind you. That's your right leg. And then we're going to use that bolster in front of the left. Perfect. Then again, just starting to twist towards the bolster, getting the belly free of that left thigh, coming down and resting the head down wherever it feels comfortable. That's it. Perfect. Yeah. And again, if the block isn't quite filling the space between you and the mat, put some blocks underneath the bolster. Again, we just want to start to drop in nice and slowly. We never want to go to our fullest range of motion first off. We've got 4 minutes to do that. Notice if you are clenching, gripping anywhere in the body. Once more, let that go. Maintaining presence as you hold the posture, find stillness, working towards your edge. Might feel different from the right to the left. So no judgment needed there, just observation. Taking that deep breath in and out. Prepare yourself to move by lifting the head. Hands come back by the side of the bolster. Gently push yourself up. Roll up through the spine. Coming back up to seated and just gently taking that counter pose, counter twist, turning towards the back leg, opening out the chest. Nice, good. Deep breath in and out there, and then gently release the back knee. You can sit sideways on your mat if you like. Here, this is our wide-legged fold. I'm going to face you so you can take the legs out to the sides, soften through the knees there, and you can use the bolster, or if you've got blocks handy, to support the head, which is really quite nice. So that supports the head and the neck, and you can just rest the head down onto that bolster there and let the arms just come down in front of you in the lap. Gently pull the navel back. It's not tight, but it's not also hanging out. So it's just pulling back towards the lower back a little bit. So you're very much aware of the lower back in this posture. That's it. Good. And just bending up through those knees if this one is particularly tight, or sitting on a block actually helps, or sitting on a cushion, it actually lifts the hips up, and you can then sit a little bit higher. That's it. Good, good, good. Nice. So as we stay here in this symmetrical posture, it means that we're not doing it on the right or the left. We're going to come to do right and left, and then we come back into the center on each of our postures today. Just notice here, is the right and the left kind of feeling the same? Is there balance on the right and the left sides of the body as you sit here? Be aware if you're clenching. Notice if you are gripping. Try and give in to gravity to relax and let go as much as you can.
We're here for a couple more minutes, so I do hope that you haven't gone into your furthest range of motion. You might feel that as the time goes on, you can go a little bit lower. And in that case, you might release the bolster and just soften the body forward a bit more. Still checking in with the right and the left sides. Taking a breath in and a breath out. Preparing to move. Start by bringing the hands down and pushing yourself up, rolling up through the spine, keeping the chin towards the chest until the last moment when the shoulders come back up in line with the hips. Sit nice and tall. Take the hands underneath the knees and just bring the legs together. You've got the bolster in front of you, that's okay. And you can just squeeze the knees together. Good. Going to come down onto our backs, but it's sort of a semi-prone reclined twist. So again, we need that bolster. Okay. So we're actually going to be twisting towards the bolster in our reclined prone twist. So we're going to get the belly all the way over the bottom of the bolster and the hands come over the side. So it's slightly different to your dia because the knees hopefully are on top of one another. And if you need a blanket or a block between those, that can work too. But we're going to bring the whole body down onto that bolster, chest and belly. That's it. Yeah, perfect. Try and stack the knees on top of one another, and there's a 90-degree bend, if you can, at the hip and at the knees. That's it. Nice. Good. And give in to gravity here. Let go. Now, a deeper stretch for the spine is if you turn the head the opposite way. So you lift the head and look towards your right side, as it were. I would stay where you are there, Dad. Yeah, that's perfect. Depends if the neck allows you to do that or not. So really the belly, the diaphragm, the chest is hopefully all the way along the bolster and the head is supported as well. And remind yourself, again, the target areas where we are working towards: the lower back, the sacrum, the hips, the pelvis. Try and soften any gripping in those areas, the deeper muscles that are clenching and engaging. It's usually particularly the buttocks and the pelvic floor which kind of hold on quite tightly. Just really breathe and let those release. Give in to gravity on the bolster. Taking a deep breath in and that big sighing breath out. Slide the underneath arm along the mat in front of you. You're going to come down onto your side there and you're going to hug the bolster. That's it. And then we're going to roll onto our backs and we're going to bring the bolster with us. And you might need to just shuffle into the center of your mat a bit there. That's it. And then shuffle over to the other side, roll the bolster over. And then let's come into the other side. So you're going to bend your knees and thighs right underneath the bolster. Push yourself up and get the chest, the belly, and the diaphragm all down on the bolster. And again, you can turn the head to look away, trying to stack the knees and the feet on top of one another. And as you come into the other side, noticing those differences. I already notice it for myself, so maybe you do too. Try and let go of tightness as you come into the second side. Noticing the breath here. Being aware of the left and the right nasal channels. When we focused on that Nadi Shodhana at the beginning, it was to balance out the right and the left. So notice if you're breathing stronger through one channel than the other. Again, this is also an asana and pranayama practice, bringing in 2 of the 8 limbs of yoga for our theme of August. Taking a deep breath in and a big sighing breath out. Lift the head. Slide the underneath arm along the mat. Again, come onto your side. Just pausing there for a moment. Kind of hugging the bolster, but you can leave it where it is there. And then you simply roll onto your back. Again, shuffle back onto the mat. We're lying on our backs now. And just place soles of the feet nice and wide and drop the knees together so that you can release into the sacrum, the bowl of the pelvis, relax into the outer hips, relax into the buttocks. Good work. So we're going to come into a symmetrical posture of either supported bridge or supported pontoon. So taking that bolster and just sliding it underneath you and then popping your hips and your sacrum up on top of the bolster. Nestle in, make sure it's nice and comfortable, both sides of the back and the waists. And you can leave the soles of the feet there just for a moment to ground. If you like, spread the shoulders and lift the arms back up behind you into cactus. So a bend at the elbow, they do not have to go behind you. Making sure the neck is nice and long, chin isn't lifting or tucking. Now here you can stay, or you might like to go into that pontoon, releasing the right and the left legs along the mat. Oh, and it's that moment of release across that central band of the body here. So really focusing now into the sacrum, the lower back, also into the front of the hip flexors, tightness maybe coming into a little bit of the quadriceps, the thighs, and also the intercostals across the belly and across the rib cage. So if the arms are back behind the head as well, this is a really big, full, expansive, passive back bend. And give into gravity with the bolster underneath you. If you feel any pain, just bring the feet back into supported bridge. And even though this is a symmetrical posture, just noticing the right and the left sides of the body. Does it feel symmetrical? Does it feel balanced? Let the central band become heavier. As you breathe out, relax a little bit more each and every time. Good. Just a few more breaths here. This is one of the shorter holds because it does put quite a bit of pressure into the lower back for some. I can definitely feel it. So nice and slowly take that breath in and out, preparing yourself to move, which basically means bringing the right back nice and slowly, bringing the left back slowly, placing the soles of the feet down, bringing the hands back to the hips and softening into the spine there. So back into supported bridge, and then gently lift the right and the left knees in towards the chest. So your hips are lifted by the bolster, and you can give those knees a big squeeze in here. That's quite a nice release with the bolster underneath you. Feel the sacrum spreading out. Big release there. Nice and slowly release the knees, place the soles of the feet down, and then lift the hips, slide the bolster away. Good. Take that out of the way for the moment, and then roll down through the spine. Take the legs long into Shavasana just to release and give the hips a little shimmy and a shake. So you can shimmy and a shake into the thighs and the knees and the ankles. We're going to come into our final right and left posture, which is banana asana. So this is coming into a nice little crescent shape. We're going to lift the arms up above the head, taking hold of the left wrist if it feels good, shuffling across the shoulders to the top right corner, and then shuffle the feet to the bottom right corner, and you might be able to place the left ankle over the top of the right foot. Don't have to, of course. So the head just drops down towards the right armpit. And again, as you come into this nice little crescent shape, imagine a crescent moon if you're looking at your body from above. This is our last posture before we go into our final relaxation. So this is the feelings of the right and the left sides. You might be feeling a stretch all the way from the left wrist right down to the left ankle. And the thing with asana or the postures that we do, they may feel very, very different to us on different days. And it's as we come to the mat on that day, not really comparing ourselves to other days, it's just being aware of how we felt on other days. So noticing how this feels down the left side for you. Breathing into the left side of the body. Breathing into the right side of the body. Breathing into the front and the back of the body. Taking a breath in, breath out. Bring the arms back by the side of the body. Shuffle the body into the center and just release the left leg. Exhale slowly, deeply into Shavasana. Lift the arms up above the head. Take hold of the right wrist. Shuffle shoulders over to the left. And then simply, if you can, moving that right leg across, and maybe the right ankle crosses over the left there. Doesn't have to, it can just be by the side of it. That's okay too. Exhaling, softening into the second side. Noticing any differences, noticing imbalances. There's nothing right or wrong, just being observant. Slow and steady breaths into the right side, into the left side, into the front, into the back. Pranayama, or the breath control, guides you through each of these postures, particularly when you are faced with a challenge in holding and finding stillness. The pranayama anchors you into the present moment. Breath in, breath out. Prepare to move as you bring the arms back down by the side of the body. The shoulders shuffle back into center. You release the right leg. Just soften there for a moment. Notice if you felt anything particularly tight into the right outer hips, right IT bands. And then gently draw the knees in towards the chest, circle out the knees, massage into the lower back, massage into the pelvis, the sacrum, circle the knees one way and the other, and then just release into the hip joints there. Last and final time. And then let's prepare for our final relaxation in Shavasana, lying down on your back. And you can use the bolster again underneath the knees. That's really nice because it allows the sacrum to soften even deeper. And you can soften the belly, hands out to the side of you, shoulders nice and spread. And choosing to use blankets, eye pillows, turning lights down if you're not already laid down comfortably. Soften now into this final resting posture of Shavasana. The easiest asana to master, but the hardest because our mind might get pulled away. So try to remain present. Use the breath to anchor you into the space, onto the mat and into the body. And remember, our practice for the full moon is to really to let go, to release, not hold on to anything, not to grip or hold tightly. So give in now to this rest, this recharge, and this reward. I'll let you know when it's time to come back around. And beginning to take a few deeper breaths as you slowly bring your awareness back to your surroundings, to the room and onto the mat. There is no rush to get back up to seated. Take your time. This is the time to slow down. Remember, full moon is not the time to rush about. Bringing gentle and soft movement into the hands and the feet, choosing to stretch out and gently drawing the knees in towards the chest as you roll out through the spine for the last time for practice. Taking that time to gently roll over to one side and pausing there before coming back up to seated, bringing the hands into the heart center, Anjali Mudra, just sitting nice and tall on a block, a bolster, and closing the eyes, softening through the facial expression, the area around the forehead, the eyes, around the nasal passages, around the mouth, relaxing into the jaw, the teeth, the throat, the shoulders, softening through the chest, the heart space, allowing the belly to rise and fall with your breath, and just taking focus as you settle down at the sacrum, the lower back, and the hips. And breathing into this area. Remember, we focused on the sacrum, lower back, hips, but also asana and pranayama, 2 of the 8 limbs of yoga. And just check in with how you now feel. And always thank yourself, your body, and your breath. And I thank you. Namaste.